Welcome to another Math Rescue video. My name is Victoria, and today I will show you how to graph functions using a graphing calculator. The following instructions apply to a TI-83, TI-84, or TI-84 Plus calculator. If you are using a TI-82 or TI-89, keys and menus may be in different places and your screen may look different than mine. Consult the manual for your calculator if you need help. Also, I have the newest operating system on my calculator, so my screen may appear slightly different than yours. If you want to download the newest operating system for your calculator, check the TI website. The keys we will be using in this demonstration are shown on the screen. The Y equals button is circled in yellow, the window button is circled in red, the zoom button is circled in blue, the graph button is circled in green, and the variable button is circled in purple. Take a moment to find these keys on your calculator and become familiar with the screens and menus they bring up. The variable key is not a menu key, but instead inserts a variable on the screen. Before we go over the steps to input a function into your calculator, you need to check two things. Open the Y equals menu. First, is there a function in one or more of the Y fields? If there is, arrow down to that slot and press clear to erase the function already there. Second, is one of the plots at the top of the screen highlighted, like plot 1 in my example? If there is a plot highlighted, that means it is turned on. Arrow up and over to the highlighted plot and press enter to turn it off. If you're using the TI-82, you will have to press second, then Y equals, and choose option 4, and then hit enter on the home screen to turn all stat plots off. Before you can enter a function into the calculator, you need to solve it for Y because that is the only form this calculator understands. Here are a couple of examples where I have solved the equations for Y. In the second one, notice that when I take the square root, I end up with two equations. One is negative and one is positive, and I would have to input these separately if I wanted to use the calculator to graph it. We will use the first example equation to learn how to input functions. Press Y equals to open the functions menu. Type in the equation using the variable key for x and parentheses around any fractions. The equation is too long to fit in the window, but you can see most of it. Press Graph to graph the function. If your window is set to its default, you will see the third image on the screen as the graph. Press the window key to see this screen. The default window is x from -10 to +10 and y from -10 to +10. X SCL stands for X scale, and this determines how often a tick mark is displayed on the axis. The default is 1, so a tick mark will be displayed for every unit across the axis. You can change these values to alter the graph viewing window. Let's graph another function and practice altering the window. Graph the function y equals x to the fourth plus 4x cubed minus 70x squared plus 92x plus 165. On the right, you can see what the graph will look like in the standard window. Obviously, you can't tell much about this graph in this view. We need to change the window. You should know that a quartic function can have up to 4 real roots. Therefore, it may cross the x-axis as much as 4 times. Here, we only see 3 places where it crosses, and they're circled in green. It may be that there is no other real root, or maybe we just can't see it in this view. Therefore, we need to extend the x-axis view to the left and right until we can be reasonably sure that we can see all of the real roots. Press Window to return to this screen. Change the x minimum value to -20 and the x maximum value to +20, and change the x scale value to 2 so that the axis will be less crowded. These values are arbitrary. You need to make small adjustments at a time until you can see the graph. I've just chosen these values to start with. Press Graph to see your changes. Notice that now we can see 4 real roots, so we don't need to change the window values for the x-axis anymore. We do need to alter the y values though, because there are some local maximums and minimums we are not seeing here. We need to make the y max higher and the y min lower. Let's try -20 to +20 first. Change the y scale to 2 so that the y-axis will be less crowded. When you graph this function again, notice that our changes didn't help very much. We need to make even more changes to the y-axis. Alter the y values to be from -200 to +200 and the scale set to 20. Now we have found a local maximum and local minimum, but if you'll notice, we are still missing a local minimum on the left. You would continue in this way, changing the y values until you have found this last local minimum. I've done a little playing around to get the following numbers, so that we could save a little time in this video. I probably went back to the window screen at least 5 times before settling on these values. Set your y minimum to -3,250 and your y maximum to 500 and change the y scale to 500. Now the whole graph is shown and looks very nice. You can see now that altering the window takes a bit of time and patience, but is necessary to do if you want to see the whole graph. If you are having trouble finding important pieces of your graph, press the Zoom key, then choose option 0 for Zoom Fit. This will fit the window to the graph, and then you can alter it as needed to make it look nicer. The Zoom Fit option will not usually change the scale values and will sometimes go to unnecessary lengths, so it is a good idea to alter the window after using it. I hope this video has helped you learn to graph functions on your calculator. The best way to become faster at changing the window is to practice. If you liked this video, press like below. If you want to see more calculator help videos, leave a comment below with your request. Thank you.